Hello and welcome back to Oracle Mystica. Today we have a new reading all about career. So I'm going to place a time limit on this, sort of a container of time around it, just so you have an idea of from when you watch this reading. It's timeless, by the way. So from whenever you watch it for the next 6 months, these are kind of the energies in play, the events, the opportunities, challenges, whatever comes up in the readings. But I like having with really specific things like this, you know, specifically about career, I like to have a specific container of time that this is focused on. So, the structure of this reading is a little bit different. I'm playing a bit. We'll see how it turns out. So it's going to be each pile will have two parts to it, and that will be related to. We're going to kind of look at the unconscious first and see what's going on. I feel like a lot of times with career and our aspirations and what we're trying so hard to be seen for in the world or build authority and excellence in the world has some baggage around it that we're not always like super conscious of. So I just kind of want to dig in. We'll see how that goes. It might be more symbolic and things you have to kind of meditate on and mull over a bit, but I think it's worth this extra work to just kind of see what's down in the subconscious, where motivations and drive for things around career are coming from, maybe why there are obstacles for you, or a lot of opportunity. There could be a lot of things in the unconscious to uncover. And then we'll move into the daylight, the clarity, and do some cards around just kind of like what is the energy around your career. And I do want to say this could also be like if you're a student, like around schooling, or if you volunteer, it can be that kind of thing too, or just like something that you're sorry, my dogs are whining in the background. I think someone's at the door. If you hear them making noise, sorry. They're wily little things. So anyway, like career doesn't have to be like your position that's given to you at a role at a company. Like it could be something that you're, like maybe you're really training to be amazing at piano or language, like anything you're just really trying to excel at. For some people, it might be just plain career and like, what's the energy around this? What are some events coming into play? What are some challenges and opportunities around it? That kind of stuff, just like the more clear vibes of what we can see more consciously. Okay, so now jumping into the piles, we've got 5 piles today. And these cards, every single one of them are going to be used in every single reading. They each have a specific place within the design of this reading that will be in the same place in each pile. But because they each have a specific role in this reading, they also have a specific energy around them that might also play into how I read your pile. So we've got some little stones underneath them to help with picking, and I'm also going to draw, flip over the top card on each one of them too, just to see, maybe you've already felt drawn to your pile, but yeah, a little flip of the card might also just sort of help you hone in on the pile you want. So we've got Magician, and we've got Asphodel, we've got Hostilities, Priestess of Conflict and Unrest, we've got Strength, last but not least, action. Okay, so this will be the place for you to pause if you need to still figure out which pile you're drawn to, and definitely if things feel very unsure, there's just like a lot of uncertainty around you, around career and the things related. Feel free to pick more than one pile if you need just a lot of extra help right now. So, yeah, pause here if you need extra time to pick your pile or piles, and we will jump in with pile 1 on through to 5. And these will be in the time stamps in the description. So if you want to kind of skip straight ahead to your pile, you can do that. Go down there and just click on that timestamp, and I will see you in your reading. Hello, pile 1. If this is you guys, you picked the Fields Tarot with the Magician and this pretty green stone, which for some reason it's escaping my brain. If someone knows it, put it in the comments for me so I can recall that. This deck is going to come into play a little later, so I'm just going to put it aside, but just to help you recognize that this is your pile. Okay, so to start out, we are going to look at a little bit of unconscious energy going on in your depths, sort of around just around career, where your motivations are stemming from, what might be helping or hindering you unconsciously, and no, that's way too many cards. Yeah, just kind of a glimpse, some general things. We're going to pull from a few decks for this, but we'll get 3 cards from this. This wants to come out. Oh, pretty. Night Blossoming Water Lily. This is the Nocturna Oracle, by the way. It's like all the things that come out at night. Gecko. And Coral Snake. Okay, I am going to, the guidebook for these just has like super quick little things and I don't know them all. So I'm going to just read really quick, kind of breeze through what the little booklet says on these. But I'm liking this reptilian, watery thing going on. Okay, so the night looming. It says love, purity, optimism, eloquence. Ooh, okay. Water lilies are aquatic plants that grow in a variety of conditions, given that they have a body of still water to reside in. In many cultures, they symbolize purity and love and are popular in wedding bouquets. They anchor their roots in the mud and produce a flower that blooms above the water. These flowers always return every year, even after the waters have dried up in the previous season. Perhaps you too have bloomed from the muddiness of life. So definitely like a cyclical thing going on. Like, I think you may know this, but you may not be totally aware of, like, I think you have like a really rhythmic way of cultivating and building your authority in things, but you probably go through a lot of phases like the moon where things just sort of ebb and flow and you really go through muddy times, but then you really shine and blossom at times, and it's just this cyclical rhythmic nature that you may not be completely aware of. So it's just sort of like, just know that things ebb and flow. And so if you ever feel like you're in muddiness, know that that's kind of nurturing some roots and some growth of something really beautiful. And then that water quality too, there's something just really healing about you. So you may be a healer or an artist, someone who just needs to build authority in things, or to have position or success in things that are a little softer and more gentle and more imaginative and fertile, and yeah, that kind of thing. And then gecko, let's see, 27. So speed, sensitivity, sacrifice, positivity. To the gecko, size doesn't mean power. In fact, its small size typically means it can stay under the radar unnoticed. The gecko's extremely sensitive vision and hearing allow it to notice danger before it notices them. But if spotted, it can easily get away from predators due to its sheer speed. Its legs and feet are able to grip any surface and climb vertical walls away from danger. Worst come to worst, if cornered, the gecko is able to detach its tail from its body in order to satiate its pursuer. Yeah, there's something incredibly sensitive around, like, who you are doesn't necessarily relate to this, but like what you are doing in the world, how you show up for others and hold responsibility. You have like, it's almost like you have antennas coming off of you, just like this deep sensitivity, probably to trends, to where the world's going, what people need. And that needs to be allowed space to process. If you're taking in so much information about the populace, that's a big thing to sort of download. So you need some space and time around you, just like this water lily that, has time down in the muddiness. That's sort of like relating to the gecko and its sensitivity of knowing what's coming before, it comes, is just like there's so much downloaded in what you're aspiring to do that you need to give yourself some extra space and time to process and to orchestrate and kind of compose and see how all of these pieces are fitting together. So there's definitely this spacious quality, sensitive, spacious quality that's coming out here. And it definitely, to me, feels like more spirituality, arts, mysticism. It doesn't have to be, like, even if you're a CEO of some big major company, maybe you just like that trending thing you really vibe with, but you need some sort of space and time to kind of get clarity on the next trends. Okay, so next, coral snake. Why am I not finding coral snake? Here, 18. Okay. Okay, warning and avoidance. Red and black, friend of Jack. Red and yellow, kills a fellow. The bright colors of the coral snake indicate danger. It is one of the most venomous snakes found in North America. The coral snake teaches us that sometimes confrontations are unnecessary and some should be outright avoided. When it comes to bad outcomes, an ounce of prevention is better than a cure. Do not ignore clear warning signs. They exist for a reason. Okay, so, I think, yeah, I think that sensitivity you have and being down often in the muddiness with the water lily, I think that on top of picking up on opportunities and trends, I think that you see, you also are picking up on the warning signs and like where just as clearly as ahas come at moments about a trend or about some inspiration, if you're more of the artist healer type. Just as often as you get the ahas about those, you're getting the ahas about maybe people to avoid, paths to avoid. Yeah, just like where danger lies. And especially because you are such a sensitive in terms of what you provide and give and hold for the world. Like really aggressive energies would be, I think, venomous to you. So I think any warning signs, like just plugging into your intuition, which I think our body often will give us really clear signs from intuition where our mind can kind of override intuition. If you're kind of having this constricting feeling around thinking about going down a certain avenue or hiring a certain person or working for a certain company, or adding some certain tool or practice to your arsenal of healing or artistic things, like really listen to that. You can pick up on the warnings of just what's not going to vibe with you and that's going to end up giving you some issues and heartache in the future. But overall, just like seriously sensitive crew, whether, intuitively, I think this, whether or not you consciously kind of allow yourself to be this or not is another question, but it's probably, different with all sorts of different people here. Okay, we're going to pick some tarot cards to kind of just get like a little bit of confirmation and tease out a little bit more about what these insights to your energies are trying to say or do, or okay, so 6 of Cups. Nine of Swords. Ah. Queen of Cups. Yeah, I'm not surprised seeing the Queen of Cups here. Okay. I also wanted... Well, no, we won't do that. Okay. So... I got a lot of room over here. Okay. This water lily energy is... I think this is just like a really beautiful thing in your subconscious. I think you find a lot of inspiration from your childhood, from your past. I think you have a lot of nostalgia and connect with others really well and love to kind of make people part of your history. So I do feel like you have a lot of beautiful connective energy within you where you really make people or groups of people or the public, whatever it is, whether you work with one-on-one clients or with teams or are more concerned with the public at large, whichever avenue that's about, whatever you're trying to do, whatever your connection is to humanity, I think you make people feel like they're part of your family. They're sort of like a culture. It's almost like you create a culture around what you do, and it's a really beautiful thing to bring up into your awareness because it's a huge asset. It could also mean down in the muddiness that maybe sometimes you let things get too muddy with people when you should cut them loose. So that's also something to watch for, just like how things with family can get muddy because it's hard to cut family loose, so things just get muddy sometimes. But I think just as much as a family can be really supportive and hugely beneficial, there can also, be those issues. And I think that shows up in your professional life. So to watch, you can, because, whoever you are connecting with through your aspirations are not actual family, typically, probably. You can cut them loose if you need to, if things are making it too muddy for you to blossom. But then know that, like, if, it's also a huge asset that you're able to, just create this very nurturing atmosphere around what you do. And it's there's something very eloquent in your expressiveness in your career. I don't know if you're like I definitely get artist healer vibes here. But if you are that more traditional career person, you may just have an eloquent way with words, an eloquent way with people, that is something that is helping to cultivate this culture of familiarity around you that can be such a huge asset. Okay, so Gecko with the Nine of Swords, this sensitivity that the gecko has and its ability to kind of sacrifice aspects of itself to survive. It's like those antennas I mentioned earlier that are like always highly out and able to pick up on the trends coming and things coming before they come. It Even though it can bring that foresight, bring that prophetic ability you have, it also really overwhelms your mind and brings a lot of worries about the what if, and always sort of like looking out for for it's like this anxiety of like, what's right, what's wrong, which way should I go. It's like this high alert situation going on here. And I think you need to find a way to put some boundaries around how your mind connects to your career, especially past like 7 p.m. I think you need to work on some boundaries around kind of compartmentalizing your evenings from your work and finding ways to take your mind off of it and being okay with turning off work mode, career mode in the evenings, or at, I don't know, maybe you work evenings, whatever it is, like whenever your downtime is, you need a boundary around it in order to let your mind rest and to find things that bring you joy just for the sake of joy. And to get your mind, it's almost like an OCD thing is going on. And you need to break the loops. You need to find a time in every single day and on your days off to break out of the loop of thinking about and worrying about and picking up so much energy and information about career and what you're trying to aspire to and be and do. And then Queen of Cups here with this warning, avoidance, coral snake. You have, whatever gender you identify with or not, you do have like a mothering, nurturing. We kind of saw this also with the Six of Cups, whereas with the Six of Cups, it was a more general culture you were able to create, but like your archetype, like this is you in a lot of ways, is very nurturing and nourishing and caring for everyone. And I feel like this coral snake is coming up with a little bit of a warning of like, you always need to self care first before you take care of the world. I mean, it's so cliche. We hear this all the time, but like if your cup isn't full, you have nothing to give, and you can't just keep giving and giving of yourself. And I feel like beyond what I already talked about with the coral snake, which I felt like was really connected to the gecko and trending stuff, and like also like the ahas of where not to be or do or go. Um, it's also this warning of like, do not take the world on your shoulders or people on your shoulders or clients on your shoulders until you're cared for. And it's this harkening back to this nine of swords energy of like, you need boundaries around when you let career and aspirations into your life, and when you just need to allow your off time be about completely other things and a lot about you, what you need. Maybe there's one day a week where you assign 2 hours to doing some sort of pampering for yourself, getting your nails done, watching a movie, getting a facial, having tea and reading, whatever just like really brings you joy. And maybe that changes every week, but like create some rituals around like really shutting the world out and taking care of you. Okay, so the last cards we're going to pick for this sort of subconscious place are these Priestesses of Light. I don't know why I keep trying to hug to this left side. I have so much space over here. Okay. Here we go. Achievement in the career reading. You are achievement focused. I don't know. Well, okay, I'm going to pick the rest of the cards and then I'll go off. Okay. Let's push these up a bit. Setting boundaries. I knew it. I knew it. You cannot pull that one over on me. Okay. So you are like, I feel like this water lily does represent something about what you're doing and what you aspire to do. And I think being eloquent, purifying things, being able to put rhythms into place, systems into place, something like that. You have a high drive and a high motivation to do this. I don't know if one of your parental figures was highly achieving, maybe both, or expected a lot of you. Or if there was some sort of event in your life or circumstance that just like really instilled this drive in you, but you do have an intense drive to express and be eloquent and kind of purify things in the world. And then this, we'll get to what to do about what the setting boundaries is what we'll get to in the end and what's needed. But just kind of saying that like if there is a high drive, like yeah, the vibe I'm getting is that it's like in your family DNA. I feel like maybe both your parents were very go-getter or special or something. Um, and it's just instilled, and like maybe that's like an archetypal quality coming through DNA that you have in your ancestral lines is like you are people that hold responsibility for the world. You are people that take a lot on because you are very calm and patient and hold grace under pressure. And then you have a deep tenderness in you. So I do think like whatever you're doing, it should be a gentle industry or a gentle something that allows you to be gentle and feel gentle in whatever you're doing, because you are a very tender person with that sensitivity and this anxiety, and you need to be in environments that are very loving and compassion oriented, or this Nine of Swords, this anxiety quality will really just run away and cause a lot of health issues. That high sensitivity thing, it's like a higher vibration that you're living on. So even though you're able to take more in, it just means you need that much more time to decompress and process. And it is like a very tender process, and it requires a lot of self-love and a lot of self-compassion. And I think you're able to give that energy out very well, but you need to also give it to yourself, because there is just a lot you're processing. And to end it, it's just this setting boundaries. You really, really need to work on you time. There's just a huge warning here. Like your health is dependent on you taking care of you, number one, first, before career comes. Even though you're highly driven, if you don't have the energy, it's really going to mess with your health. You just really need to create some, because you're like a very rhythmic person. You need to create some rituals and rhythms around you time and self-care, and when you just like really shut your brain off from work mode and achievement mode. Okay, so this is the subconscious area. You are definitely my sensibugs, as I've been called, sensibug. You guys are my kins, I think. Okay, I feel like I just read my pile, so no, I can't say that. Okay, so we are now going to look at what's going on, like more clearly, more directly around career. What are the energies around your career? What are the challenges or opportunities? So we're going to pull 3 of these sacred landscape to kind of get a vibe, a little story maybe. This one, protection, okay. Action. That was the card we flipped over, wasn't it? Okay. With the intro with the piles. I mean, it's not your pile that had that card, but just interesting. Okay. This one wants to come out. Purification. That water lily, I was picking up on that. I think there's definitely something around your energy where you, whether or not you're a healer, whatever you do, and even if that is being a super corporate person, you're able to bring a quality of really moving energy and blockages. Like, look at the rain in this card. I love that. It's like, that water energy purifies, and when there's moving water such as rain, it just like really is able to move emotions and clear emotions. So wherever you go, within your career and whatever you're doing, you bring with you a quality of being able to just like really keep the channels clear, which is really beautiful because it allows for a lot of fertility, it allows for movement, it allows for shining. There's something around you. I don't know if there's like some. I'm just looking at, the light protection, and it's like being, the trees protecting from lightning. So I think there are some huge shakeups for you right now in terms of what you're doing and what you're aspiring to do, that are divinely orchestrated. Like the heavens are clearing and shaking and electrifying things around you, which can feel really both thrilling. I mean, if you've ever been in a lightning storm, it's thrilling, but it's also terrifying if, you're in. I've had it a couple times where you're really kind of in a dangerous place of, I've been caught out in hikes where it's happened, where you've had to kind of find protection like this. Yeah, the heavens. This is not from you or from people around you. It's like, or even from the cycle of life, there's some sort of like divine intervention happening that's kind of really shaking up who you are in the world, but it's giving you protection at the same time. So just know that if there's things that feel either liminal and nebulous or unstable and uncertain, it's okay. There's sort of a shakeup happening, but you're being both divinely protected and divinely shaken up at the same time. But there's something in action. There is things are kicking into high drive. There's some sort of action taking place, and a shakeup is coming, but not to worry, because no matter what you do, where you are, you're able to clear your channels and always find your fluid place to be. So everything's going to turn out well because you have that energy, and that energy is showing up. So allow the shakeups to happen. Trust that you're protected. Be willing to kind of be in action and motion and part of actively changing what's happening, and claiming new things that you want. I think this shakeup is opening up new stirrings in your heart, and to be assertive about any impulses that come through there. Okay. Let's pull some tarot to see a little bit more. I think I want to pull move these up. Let's get 6 cards or something. Okay, so I want to see what's under the deck too. This was the card we pulled. It was meant to be here. How funny. Okay, yeah, exactly. Something new is coming into place. I felt that with this protection card. It's not quite the Fool with this new path. It's like maybe you've already taken a step towards something hesitantly, And now you need to start trusting, even though this is a fresh new thing, that you have all the resources you need to manifest what this new calling manifests within this new calling. Like, you may have some like imposter syndrome, but the King of Wands showed up, the Leo King. You are a creative leader, so trust that. It might take a little work and effort with that Magician and being sort of new, but you're no imposter. You're meant to be here, and I think you're going to be very welcomed with whatever this new pursuit is. This Seven of Wands, like I said, with action, these very much so correlate to me of like, I do think you've taken a step towards something. That's the vibe I'm getting. If not, I think within the next 2 months, because this is a 6-month reading, I think within the next month or two, if not already, you're going to know what this is. I feel like we would have the Fool, though, if you didn't know. I think you know. I think you all know. If not, like, it's coming almost immediately. Yeah, you've taken a step into something, but there's a lot of fear and imposter syndrome going on here. The sun upside down is just sort of like, I don't know that I can shine here. But you are the Leo King, so you can. You need to get into, so back to this Seven of Wands with Valor. This is a Leo-esque card, but the warrior side, the courage side of Leo that's willing to fight like the lion for what they want. So you need to take action. You need to take some initial steps, and really be assertive about putting yourself onto this path, and to trust that you have the resources you need to start taking steps and to start being part of this new path, this new manifestation that you're really hoping to bring into your world as like a new quality of authority or quality of excellence or mastery of something. Yeah, there's been a lot of worry. I think the worry's leaving. That Ten of Swords upside down, I think you've been in a place of, in this curiosity, like I'm kind of reading these together. Princess of Swords upside down, so it's kind of like the personification of ideas. And then Ten of Swords upside down, it's just like you've had this curiosity about this path. You've stepped onto it, but you have imposter syndrome, so you're kind of paralyzed. But this paralysis, I think, because you're so good at purifying emotions and blocks and bringing things out, it's just been a process. And you're getting to the point of kind of needing to release your fears and move forward, take some steps. And this Nine of Cups fulfillment is leading you in towards the Ten of Cups. We're leaving the Nine of Cups, which is like where you are a very self-sufficient, self-contained, abundant person. And maybe you've been cultivating this new dream and wish and hope more privately. And it's felt rich inside of you, but you've kept it to yourself. But now we're about to step. By the time we get to that 6-month point, this is turning into the Ten of Cups, where this is being shared with the world, and the world is accepting it with so much just like awe. And like, see these rays coming out of this king? Like, you're stepping into your ultimate role. So give it 6 months. Let the purification wash these sort of imposter syndromes, paralysis, anxieties away. Yeah, these two are like imposter syndrome to me. This is the anxiety that comes from it. This is something you've been hoarding to yourself. But these two, it's like the bookends are like, you need to just start taking action and you will realize that the world loves what you have to give them with this new path, and you are going to manifest. You're protected. Action is fortuitous around you. It's bringing beautiful things, and you have this ability to purify any path you come onto. And you're just, it's like you'll, whatever it is you start to put out in the world, people will feel that quality that you have this ability to move them, to move their blocks. What you can do around your environment with career and for yourself, you're going to start doing on this new path. And it's just like, yeah, it'll be magic. It'll be great. Okay, so there is your career reading, pile 1. Good luck. I feel like you kind of are on the warrior's path for the next 6 months with career, and I believe in you, and I'm so excited for you. I think really great things to come. All right, see you guys. Hello, pile 2. If this is you guys, you picked the Nocturna Oracle, and we had turned over the Asphodel card. And this is actually the deck we are going to use first. Their little desert rose quartz, or sorry, selenite. Okay, so to start off on this reading, we are going to take a look at what is in your subconscious around career, whether it's sort of motivations, qualities, patterns, whatever it is that might be sort of behind certain unknown things in what you're doing in life right now, where your motivations and hopes and dreams live in terms of your position in the world or some sort of authority or excellence you're building. These are new and they do not like to shuffle. Okay, so we're going to pick 3 cards from this. And the guidebook just has these really short, beautiful descriptions that I'm going to read because I'll never remember. These are like things that come out in the night, so plants and animals and all sorts of stuff. And the way they're interpreted are just unique and cool. So I'm going to use that. Okay. So moonstone. Your asphodel wanted to come out. That's funny. The first pile, its top card came out as well. Ooh, and owl. Beautiful. Okay. Let's take a look at the book on these, and then we'll dive into some insights. So moonstone, soothing, third eye, tranquility. Moonstone is a type of feldspar and is one of my favorite gemstones due to its ethereal beauty. The shifting, cool colors give it a very tranquil feel. Some cultures believe moonstone to be the moon's rays solidified. It is said to aid with the overcoming grief and stress and helps with strengthening intuition and clairvoyance. It is associated with the third eye and the crown chakra. If you are in need of recharging, let the moonstone provide healing. So There may be, I actually am reading this very differently than how I started with the first pile. I don't think this totally pertains to your actual aspirations. I feel like it's saying that um, potentially something big has happened in your life where you're going through some grief or some stress or just really needing to plug back into you and like recharge and heal yourself in order to kind of get back on the horse with career. So we'll come back to that once we get through all of these, but I don't feel like that's pertaining to your actual aspirations. I feel like it's sort of about the energy around you right now in terms of like um, maybe why aspirations are in a certain place. Okay. Like maybe there's just no energy for aspirations. Yeah, I was just going to say, and you feel stuck. Asphodel, it says, feeling stuck, unable to move on, regret. In the Greek underworld lies the fields of Asphodel. This is a realm where ordinary people who are not heroic enough for the Elysian fields, nor wicked enough for the pits of Tartarus, lie. In Victorian floriography, the flower means, my regrets follow you to the grave. And or are you unable to move on from something? Is there anyone you need to say I'm sorry to? Okay, yeah, I mean, these to me, I'm reading together. They're just supporting each other. There's something that's big or small, it doesn't matter. That's just really needing your attention more than career needs your attention right now. So if career feels stuck, it's because you're really needing to process some healing, some things in other parts of your life in order to move on. So now is maybe not, you need to bring this more up to the light. You might have some expectations around you in career, or you may have completely shut the door on it. Who knows? Like it's probably different for everybody and probably depending on how dramatic this is. But I'm just getting the vibe that it's not, this 6 months is a time of healing other things and putting a little bit of a hold on aspirations, whether that's just keeping status quo where you are. Sometimes you can't necessarily just like, if you work for a big company or your income depends on, what something you do on your own, whatever it is, like sometimes we can't just quit, but it's sort of like go on autopilot. And if you can, if it's a potential for you to be able to kind of give yourself a lot of vacation downtime, if you're in between jobs and that's okay for you to be so, just let that be. Yeah, there's something else you're working out that like career just there's no energy for career, I feel like. Um, and I feel like this is going on, but you may still have expectations around career. So your subconscious is trying to tell you, like, stop. Like, this is the priority, career is not the priority. Make that clear to yourself. And then Owl 34. Ancient wisdom, intuition, observation, guidance. Oh, I like this coming through. The owl sits high in the trees, its sharp vision allowing it to spot the small creatures hiding in the grass and brush. The ancient Greeks and Romans associated it with divine wisdom, and it is affiliated with the goddess Athena. The owl is able to see what's hidden, including deceit. The bare branches in the card represent clarity. Nothing can hide from the owl. If you are going through confusing times, and tough decisions, pull back. Simply observe what's around you. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think this is saying like nothing career, but it's saying pull back. Like it's not Career is not the priority. There's other things processing in your life, potentially some grief, or just potentially like a cycle ending and some, you're in a liminal space. It could be one or the other, both. And it's just saying pull back, observe, rest your energy, and just kind of take in the view, get the bigger picture. I don't think this is a time of action. Let's pull some, we're going to pull some tarot cards to get a little bit of clarification on these. Yeah, okay, 9 of Wands. Three of Cups. Let's take this 9 of Cups upside down. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense actually. Okay, so yeah, I think you're ending you're ending a big cycle. Something's coming to a close. Darkness is closing in, and it's time for you to reflect on. It can be an uncomfortable thing to be in this place where a big cycle is ending, and instead of like getting to the finish line or the summit of something, you're asked to turn around and reflect on everything, because you're like, it's like you're 2 steps to a summit point of something, and something comes in and like forces you to reflect on the past, and you're just sort of like frustrated because you're so close. And I feel like I feel like in career maybe there's some big vision you're very close to, but something happened in your life and it's making you turn from that big summit point in career and reflect on some other things in your life. And so it's this tension that's being felt of like, I'm so close, but I have nothing to give to those last 2 steps. But those 2 steps are going nowhere. You really do need to turn around and process whatever is going on right now. Those 2 steps will wait for you. And that's coming through with this 3 of Cups. You have a lot of community and a lot of love and support. Oh my gosh, I'm going to cry. I don't even know why. Like, I have, to me, I'm like, this could be very minor things for some of you, or big, but like, I just got very emotional looking at this. You have a lot of community and support around you. So, yeah, let them hold you up right now. And they may be even able to just carry you those last 2 steps as you process the past, as you process whatever's going on right now. But they've got your back. And those 2 steps are going nowhere, and it's just time for you to be supported and process something. And then this 9 of Cups is definitely being in reverse, saying that there's been some massive disintegration going on in your life, almost like a natural disaster as a metaphor for something that's in your life. Yeah, so, oh man, it's a lot, you guys. For those that it's not as big of a deal, this really could just be sort of like a cycle coming to an end, and it's just sort of time to kind of let go of some things in the past. For others of you, I do feel like maybe there's been like a death or something But either way, from the minor of just a general cycle ending to the major of like a major grief issue to process, you're in a place of disintegrating things about your life in order to it's hard for me to say to perfect it, because obviously if something's left you really care about, it's not going to feel more perfect, but there is something sort of like that harvest energy of like tearing the wheat from the chaff, and you're making a mess doing it. There are just things that in the natural course of life, like nature's kind of brutal. In the natural course of life, we're just ready to go. They were no longer, they were at their, this thing, this cycle, this person, this whatever was at its place of ultimate ripeness. And if it lived any longer or stayed in your life any longer or perpetuated as a cycle any longer, would have just started disintegrating anyway. So it is sort of, yeah, but it could feel like a natural disaster has just like really uprooted your life. But just know that with career, with these 2 more steps you had to maybe some kind of summit point, they're not going anywhere. So take the time you need, lean on your community. Yeah, it's fine. You have these, I feel like you are being gifted these 6 months to just process. Power over difficulty. Fitting. Death and rebirth. Bright heart, light. Beautiful. I love how that's ending. Yeah. Okay. So whatever you felt has left your life, a cycle, a relationship, a person, a career. There is a test in it. It's almost like you feel like your power was taken with that. But this card is coming to say that you in your own right are inherently powerful, and this challenge, it's not a test. This isn't like, oh, you need to pass this test, so I'm going to hand you some grief. It's not that, but there is an opportunity in whatever's going on to recognize your own power separate from whatever has left, and to claim that, to see it, to see how strong and resilient and amazing you are, and to claim your power in your own right in like a much bigger way than you have before. Like there may have been a crutch in whatever's left that some of your power came from, and there's an opportunity in whatever this is to see your own power separate from this, and to like really step into it and claim it. I don't feel like that's what this ending or liminal place is distinctly about. It's just something that's coming along with it that, if you want to look at some positives. And then just everything we've said, death and rebirth, it's the end of a cycle, disintegration is happening. It's just time but you have fertile, abundant, energetic, happy people around you. And so you really can just like lean into that as you kind of go through this process of recycling, really letting go of what's left and what has already departed, I'm going to say, which doesn't have, it doesn't have to be a relationship or a person. Like this can be, a job or just a general cycle, a house, whatever it is. But something's ending, And the 6 months is about letting that decomposition take place, letting death be something that you explore and understand more deeply and feel oddly enriched by. I mean, I know it's hard to take that in when that's what you're going through at the moment, but I do think that when you are touched by death or marked by a death of whatever person, thing, place, cycle, it's like you grow in this new spiritual way that is really quite elegant. To me, elegance is being able to hold joy and sorrow at the same time. So like a new elegance really could, and I love this flower is very elegant, and these people around you are very elegant, and you might be, yeah, this process might be imbuing you with a little bit more elegance as well. And then just ending on this note, this bright heart light, open connections. I feel like this ending cycle, this liminal place, this grief, sorrow, whatever it is to you, it's shattered your heart maybe, but your heart is wide open now, and so like a lot of connections are being made into it, which is so beautiful. Okay. A little bit of a tough road, but there is just some expansion happening on like a deep level. Okay, so we're going to move into the more conscious, obvious places now with some other cards. Let's clear these out first. Whew. Okay, so first we are going to, these are sacred landscapes. We're going to pull 3 of these just to kind of see a general sort of energy around career for you. Any sort of story that comes through. Ooh, forgiveness, yeah. I'll take the top one. Embracing. And fulfillment. Okay, so generally it's interesting when can't remember what card it was, but in that subconscious reading we just finished, when I was getting that image of like almost reaching a summit or being 2 steps away from something major in career, I was thinking of the waning crescent moon, which is what we've got here. And you were in that subconscious place. It was showing that you were made to turn around to deal with something else in your life. And this is showing that you need to forgive yourself. Like, I feel like you still are reaching for this little aspirational sliver left in you right now, but you can't, it's like you can't reach it at this moment. I think these 6 months just need you to pay attention to something else, and it's not, this is not going anywhere. We get waning crescent moons every month. It's fine to let that be and to catch the next crescent moon. As one wave goes out, another wave comes in, and on, and you're going to come into a different quality of power. So you may even, after the 6 months, not be interested in that sliver you're reaching for. You may be interested in something totally different, but either way, you're so close that if that's what you're still interested in, it'll be fine and you can still go there. But this is just saying, you need to forgive yourself for not having the energy to go 2 steps right now, two more steps to reach this aspirational peak of something. Yeah, you just need to be kind to yourself about career things at the moment. Embracing. This is so beautiful. This is like marshland. I should have pulled this. I thought I knew most of these sacred landscape cards, but I'm not totally sure. I think this is the marshland one that is like a little bit of a standstill. Like when the floodwaters come in to the marshes and it gets a little bit gunky. I don't know if this is the right card, but that's what's coming to mind. So it's gonna be how I read it anyway. So, yeah, that flood energy can feel like a natural disaster almost, like I talked about in the subconscious thing. Like you feel like the things you used to be able to see in your career have been flooded and it's all murky now. But what you may not understand is that flooding is bringing in new silts, which will like renew the land and give it a new sense of fertility. So things I think still feel stuck to me. I mean, we're just mirroring the subconscious stuff, but it might just be clearing up. So it's like embracing that things are stuck right now and being okay with it and being foresightful that this stuckness due to something that feels sort of disasterish is laying new fertility and new life underneath this flood of whatever. To me, this is showing we moved from the waning crescent into a full moon in this card. And I think this is at the 6-month point. I think if you do allow yourself to, if you're compassionate with yourself, you give yourself the downtime you need and really embrace that things are just going to be stuck for 6 months. And that's okay because it will give you the opportunity to process some other things. I think in 6 months, some new fertile energy is going to come that while that harvest that we actually see in this card and the fulfillment may not actually be there at the 6 months, the soils for your aspirations will be right to grow very healthy harvests, if that makes sense. The soils will be right to plant the things that you need to plant to find the fulfillment that you crave and desire in life through your aspirations, through your career. So yeah, it just feels like a lot of processing and downtime and allowing things to just be stuck and murky because it's bringing in new energy and new possibility underneath it all, underneath all of the disaster and toughness. Okay, we're gonna pull some tarot cards, get a little bit more context about this. Perfect. I love that last card for you guys. Okay. And then what's under the deck? 5 of Swords, defeat. Okay. So at the heart of this, you're really rising in whatever you're processing and giving time and space to. You're really going to find this ability to kind of rise above conflicts you've had in your life, both in group. So this is around group energy and friendship, maybe. Peers in your work, even. I mean, this is about career, so it might be about your cohorts. You're really going to rise above. I think there's been a lot of conflict, both in group and out group, in the industry and position you've been in. And you're really going to rise above this. You're going to find a different perspective by that 6 month point to see the humanity of people in a whole new light and treasure every day with them, whether or not they're like your favorite person. But yeah, you're really going to come out of this with like a new way of rising above certain professional conflicts, I think. And then we've got this Four of Discs, like your stability, and this could be related to money, or it could just be related to something you've really valued in your career is shifting. So the stability of what you value about your profession, about your career, about your authority, you're being asked to lean into instability in order to deepen and investigate your values. Investigate what makes you love doing what you do, because I think a shift is coming. And I can't see what that is yet with this upside downness. It's just asking you to investigate what your values stand on in terms of your professional life and aspirations. There may be a lot of people from your past coming in around career this next 6 months. Just because of the nature of what we've already read, I feel like they harken back to that Three of Cups we had in the unconscious part of the reading of like support, or just like being able to revisit your past, even your childhood, things about you before you were who you were professionally. Yeah, I'm like even going way back to childhood of like really revisiting who you were, and I think it's going to reconnect you with some old values that you might have, and old desires, old like aspirations that you kind of, I don't know, not necessarily let go of, but just got led in different directions from. You may be reconnecting to past aspirations from, that were alive when you were much younger. I want to say this is you. You're a really powerful person, so this could be really hard for you to be in this kind of stuck place. But that's not going to go anywhere. It's okay, if you need 6 months to just process. Like, you're still going to be a king of value. You're still going to be a power player in the world. The world is not going to drop you or forget about you if you take some months to sort of check out a little bit in terms of how you're being present in position in the world. Yeah, because like your fertility is just at its low point right now in terms of being able to produce or reach or excel, and it's you're in that winter phase where things are dormant and resting. But come this 6 months, this will turn back either to spring phase, yeah, I mean, this is sort of like the seasons of the year when our fertility is upside down. It's sort of like winter when things are dormant. She's sideways, she's waking up in the spring, and then summer is that fullness, like that prime fertile place. And right now, in terms of aspirations, your things are dormant, but it doesn't mean they are going to be forever. You just need to let that cycle be what it is. You can't change cycles, you know? Um, I actually think this Ten of Wands upside down is quite like if there's going to be a cherry on top of this really tough reading. I mean, there's been several cherries on top and like beautiful things that come out of difficult things. But this is one of those, I think, needed things that's coming out of difficult things. I think you've had a lot on your shoulders. I think you've had massive aspirations and many aspirations. And this time of kind of processing and letting things lay as they are is going to release a lot of the burdens and a lot of the aims that you've had on your shoulders that have maybe been a little too heavy to hold. And so when you come back up to this spring, you know, in 6 months being more of that spring phase, you'll have had some insight, I think, about like how much you actually want to carry on your shoulders, and you'll re-enter reaching and holding position in the world in a new way of like a little bit more focus instead of wanting to being too your eyes being more hungry than what your stomach can hold. I don't know if that's how you say that saying. But it's like you try to reach for so much and you hold so much. And I think this downtime is going to teach you a lesson of like, maybe instead of 10 aspirations, I'm going to aim for 4 and really focus and really limit the amount I put on my plate so that I can really excel at a few things instead of be a jack of several, you know. But yeah, I think some burdens are going to be lifted off of your shoulders, which is kind of a side element that I think will be good for you with all of this. And in the end, I don't know why I'm just reading this end card as that 6-month point, because this isn't necessarily being read as like in a linear fashion here. But this feels like the 6-month point to me. I feel like whatever is breaking down, disintegrating, stuck, resting, processing in you at 6 months, you're going to come back out with just a renewed love for yourself, for life, for others, a new appreciation that really fills you up emotionally and really gives you a lot of emotional power in the world to put towards, you know, having new fertile grounds to do. I really feel like at the 6-month point, you're really going to like pivot and turn towards something totally, I mean, it may not be totally new, like a new type of industry, but just like new aims, new, a refined, a different, just like a refined aim in what you want to do that will have a lot more depth to it. Okay, so get some rest these 6 months, guys. Do some processing, do some healing, take care of yourself, let your community support you, take some things off your plate. Check back in 6 months. I really think your professional outlook, your career is going to have a very different orientation and feel and depth to it in terms of where you're intending to head. So yeah, good luck these 6 months. I think a lot of, amidst some of difficult things that I think we've seen, I think a lot of it's cultivating a lot of really beautiful things in you as well. All right, this is the end. See you in next reading. Hello, pile 3. Um, if this is you guys, you picked the Sunstone with the Priestesses of Light Oracle. And that card. We are going to tap into these cards a little bit later, but just wanted to help make sure you identified your correct pile. Okay, so to start out, we are going to dive into your subconscious a little with the help of spirit and see what is down there that is either it's been so varied so far for the first 2 piles of some of it's shown certain motivations or maybe archetypes you haven't been clear about, energies, and some of them have shown different events from life that have really are currently affecting the energy you have to put towards career. So it's been a bit of a ride. So let's see. I think all these piles are probably going to be very, very different. So let's see what happens with you guys. Okay, so we're going to pick 3 of these Nocturna Oracle cards. And these are sort of the things that come out and come alive at night. And I'm going to read from the guidebook for them because they have really beautiful, short, specific interpretations. There's a lot of stuff I'm not symbolically totally familiar with. Okay. Oh, the first pile got that one too. Okay. My crew is just, I think my followers are very artistic. Manta ray. Okay. This card looks out. Ocelot. Okay, well, these other 2 cards make you guys feel very different from the first pile, but you do share something. Okay, so let's read a little from the book, just because these descriptions are so lovely. I wouldn't do them justice trying to interpret them on my own. Okay, so the night blooming water lily, love, purity, optimism, eloquence. Water lilies are aquatic plants that grow in a variety of conditions given that they have a body of still water to reside in. In many cultures, they symbolize purity and love and are popular in wedding bouquets. They anchor their roots in the mud and produce a flower that blooms above the water. These flowers are always return every year, even after the waters have dried up in the previous season. Perhaps you too have bloomed from the muddiness of life. There's something sticking out to me differently this round about these, the still water. And it might be because of the other cards coming through. It's like you have this deep inner stillness that allows you to go through the heights and depths of life really beautifully and centered, which means that you can express the wisdoms around you and through the experiences you have with a profound elegance. Eloquence is here. Yeah. Elegance and eloquence. Okay, so manta ray. Grace, calmness. Yeah. Okay, I haven't read this card yet. It's funny, I actually thought this was a shirt when I was looking. I just got these cards yesterday. I was like, what? Why is there a shirt here? And then I was like, oh, manta ray. Okay. I love that. Grace and calmness. That was what I read this very differently than pile 1. Okay. Despite being the world's largest ray with a wingspan of up to 9 meters, which is 29 feet, the manta ray glides effortlessly through the water with grace and confidence. While manta rays will stay in the shallow waters for feeding and mating, they can dive as deep as 1,476 feet. As with the depths of the ocean, the manta ray reminds us to explore the depths of our emotions with calmness and composure. Yeah, I do. I think that you're able to go into your subconscious, into the muddiness of life, as well as the heights with just this, yeah, this calm presence for sure. It's like very wise. There's a very still and wise thing going on under your surface that, yeah. Okay, so Ocelot is 13. Balance, vision, distance, solitude. Oh, I think it's the solitude thing. I think you may be a very solitary person. So, like, maybe, maybe you're not like in life for the thrills. So, like, really taking part in all the fun and craziness that a lot of people are. But this solitary nature has given you this inner stillness and wisdom to interpret life in a way that not a lot of people can touch because they're just like a little bit more bouncing around. I mean, to each their own. Some of us love to just love and play and have fun, and some of us are really interested, like, yeah, they're all beautiful, and this is so beautiful. Okay, so balance, vision, distance, solitude. The ocelot is a small nocturnal cat that can move through the branches and brush of the jungle with ease. It is territorial, solitary, and non confrontational, and because of its camouflage coat, incredibly hard to spot. The ocelot reminds us that sometimes it is okay to disappear, to break away from a situation and find healing in solitude. As with any other cat, it is also associated with vision and symbolic of the unseen. I think you need to work for yourself. I think this is an energy that, while profound and beautiful, probably struggles to work with others unless they're very much so of the same breed. But being that solitary creature, I feel like putting two solitary things together actually sometimes doesn't, you could put two cats together and sometimes that works and sometimes it's a cat fight constantly. Which is my house. I have two cat-like dogs. We got the second one thinking that, oh, it'll be a companion for the other, but they're like at each other's throats all the time. But sometimes it does work out. So it's, yeah, I just get this feeling that you need space, you're interested in the unseen, you need that calmness around you. So, not a lot of activity, not a lot of communication and busyness. So, I think you are built to work for yourself. So, the trick, maybe some of you guys have figured this out, and maybe some of you haven't. If you have figured this out, leave some comments for the others who haven't figured it out of like what you're doing and how you did it, maybe to help your crew, help your soul kin out. But yeah, I think you're very suited to, in terms of profession and aspiration. I do think you need to work for yourself. I think you have an energy that is really hard to try and mesh with others harmoniously in a professional setting. um, but I think others want to work with you a lot because of how profound you are. It just you've probably learned some lessons around this, that it's just hard for you and it's hard for others once it actually happens. Okay, so let's draw some tarot cards to get just a little bit more context and insight into this subconscious place. Well, what? This is the exact concoction pile one got with the water lilies and Six of Cups with it. All right, well, you guys might be soulkins. I don't think that pile one is yours, but you might be interested in listening to pile one because they might be like, yeah, soul tribe, you know? There's some affinity there. Which doesn't surprise me, you know, like my channel has a vibe for sure, which probably attracts certain kinds. Wow. And then in pile two, Nine of Swords came out in this spot. Okay. No, it was pile one. We're getting, yeah, okay. You know what? These tarot cards are the exact same ones and same positions as pile one, but I don't think pile one, I mean, you can check it out for yourself, but I think these are soul kin, like soul tribe people that you could work with. So you could check out the vibe of those, of pile one, to get like a vibe of like who you would work well with if you wanted to work with others. And then this is very different, King of Swords. Yeah, okay, totally makes sense. Okay, so you make people in the way professionally, whether you're dealing one-on-one with clients or you're working with groups or you're working more as like facing the public, so you know, the many, whichever scale it is, or if you're in all of them, whatever, like you make in your profession, in your aspirations, in what you do, your role in the world, you cultivate a family atmosphere. And I'm going to say exactly the same thing as I said with number one. This can be good and this can be bad. So you really develop community that has a familiar feeling to it, and you attract a lot of soul tribe to you. But the thing you need to recognize that because we're talking about career, it's most likely that this is not actual family. I mean, it could be soul family, but in this lifetime, it's not actual family. So if things get super muddy, you're someone who allows that muddiness when you don't always need to. You can cut people free, and I just think that's a message that both you and pile one needed, is like, you can really let things get muddy in the communities you cultivate professionally, and it's okay to turn people away or turn them down. But there's an asset to this that is also incredibly beautiful, is that like the people you draw into you and into what you're doing in your position, or the way you use your position to draw people together, whatever it is, you do create a very comfortable, familial, beautiful atmosphere. You could also really be good at some working with inner child things. So with psychology or healing areas, or working with children. You could also work with children too. And then I actually just want to read this Nine of Wands a little bit more. I mean, with both the Ocelot and the Manta Ray, I think the depths you go into and the solitude this is opposite. While the Six of Cups and the Water Lily, the way these read together for you and pile one was very similar, the way I'm reading the Nine of Swords is very different from how I read it for pile one. I mean, you have a different card here, so that makes sense too. I do think you need to put effort into building community, to feeling connected, because all of these deep dives, I feel like it's specific to the deep dives that the manta ray does. And then the solitude that the ocelot has, like there's some lack of connection going on, so you get trapped with your own thoughts. And if your own thoughts are the only thoughts you're with, then those thoughts spiral into narratives and stories that just are based off of your own thoughts and not much else. And so you probably have a lot of anxiety in your professional life due to this solitary nature of your work, of what you do. And it's like a reminder that manta ray also spends time in those shallow waters for feeding and mating. And it's like you need to, even if it's not professionally, maybe just in your social life or networking with other people who work for themselves, just like getting feedback or people to bounce things off of. I do kind of, for some reason, want to stick more to, with pile 2, we went way outside of the lines of career here, but I think you're a focused person, so we're focusing on career. I think you need to network with others who are doing similar things to you, even if you're not working with them, just to get like feedback and to process, like little groups that you have, like almost like book group, but it's like working for yourself group, and just like processing what that feels like, and just having someone to talk to about your work, even if you're not working with them, is going to allow you to get out of your own thoughts that have created their own chambers of anxiety that really shouldn't be there. You've just made them up. Not to say that still isn't awful and painful and frustrating, and I have empathy for that, but at the same time, I think the anxieties in your mind are ones that you've self-created in a lot of ways, and you just need to connect with others doing similar things to you. And not be so fearful. Like, I feel like that solitary, there is almost like a skeptical thing going on, where it's almost like you're too held back in sharing what you want to put out in the world. I don't know if it's a fear that other people would steal it, or just a privacy thing, but I think you need to find people you can trust to share the things in your head. Yeah, like you need to be a little less guarded about what you share with others. Yeah, because it's creating a lot of anxiety in you. But this King of Swords is definitely showing like you do have like real authority and master of the mind. So your mind is a huge tool for you. You probably know this. I don't know why it's coming in the unconscious place. Maybe there's something about being connected to the ocelot that or like where this archetype is coming from is this like very solitary, deep, calm, still energy that you put towards what you build and find excellence in and aspire to in the world. Like, this is why your mind is sharp and like you have command and authority of your mind, because of that stillness and that solitary nature. But you do need to find people you can trust to share more with and be a little less guarded. I'm not saying just like tell anybody and everyone everything you're thinking and doing and planning, but like, find 3 or 4 people you can trust that they're not going to take your ideas or shame your ideas or make you feel silly or whatever, just like people you love and trust to bounce your ideas off of and feel a little bit more free and unguarded too. I think this is why pile one is your kin, is like, I think they're just like have no boundaries with this. Like whatever's in their mind probably comes out. I didn't tell them that, but that just came to me. Anyway, okay, let's look at the priestesses. We spent a lot of time on that. Okay. One more round of cards to get this sort of like, in a way, some blessings, but sometimes these also have little archetypes that come out as well. Hidden knowledge, Akashic records, silent understanding. That silence, yeah, is coming in deep. But this is showing maybe those deep dives you do with the manta ray and that interest in the unseen, like a deep connection to that Akashic library, that ability to see, you know, past lives, future lives, or just kind of the more etheric qualities that have different perceptions and communications to bring the world to those that are tapped into it. I think that you're tapped into it. And then sensuality, feminine wisdom and passion. So working with women, the divine feminine, reigniting a sense of passion in women. You could have a lot of tiger energy in you, bobcat energy in you, ocelot, a lot of cat energy going on here, and then some strange bird in the manta ray. But definitely that cat energy is coming out. So this connection to the wild side of the darkness and the beauty and sensuality that holds. There's something there for you to mine, for you to. I think it's an archetype in you that needs to be used in your profession, whatever your profession may be. But I think you really know how to wake that up in people. Oh, did I skip one for this? One more. I'm losing it. Go with the flow, letting go, cleansing, receiving. Yeah, that letting go, totally to me is that share. Like you need to find people that you feel like you can let go with and share. There's some energy coming through where it's like you have a wall up with, there's a deep reserve and wall and maybe even fear of like sharing what's actually in your head. And you need to find people where you can let go with, because it'll help cleanse out some anxiety, and it will help you to receive. Like you may not see how much others appreciate the wisdom and grace you bring the world because you're so clouded with these anxieties. But if you can find people to let go with, where you're free to share what's in your mind professionally, what you want to bring to the world and give to the world, and thoughts you have around your profession, if you can find those people to let go with, it's going to cleanse your anxieties, and you will better witness and see and feel how much the world adores what you do and who you are. So yeah, okay. I think some really good messages for you guys. Let's move into the daylight. much fun as this subconscious place is, let's get some more clear messages about where your career actually is, energies around it. Yeah, all those fun things. Okay. We are going to start with these sacred landscape cards. I'm going to pull 3 of them just to get sort of a general vibe of the energy around your career. Yeah. Thriving, beautiful. This one, happiness. Hey guys. Well, maybe you have a hold on some of that subconscious stuff. At least right now, at least for the next 6 months. Simplicity, beautiful. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that anxiety, like initially, like the first thing that just popped in my head as I was drawn over to look at the simplicity card is that anxiety we saw in your subconscious. It's just like, I think you're done with it. And you're just ready for you're ready for life to be easy. And to claim and do what you love with no shame. And I think this 6 months is really going to be a beautiful period of growth. We've got a full moon in this card with stars. So a fullness of fertility and stars is renewed hope. And these rays, I mean, that's beautiful. And then, you know, playfulness with the dolphins and the sun out, which is like clarity and energy and inspiring. And then simplicity is just like, yeah, like I just am who I am, and I'm not going to try and make myself or life more than that. I almost don't. I almost want to say that something's happening in your personal life that's coming in to support you a little, to ease some anxieties in order for you to not feel so much pressure on that solitary work. Like, I think part of this reading is just that you're coming into the shallow waters as that manta ray to feed and mate. Like, I don't know if I know this is a career reading, but I feel like there's like a beautiful love in your life right now or something that's just making you happy, and it's contagious, and it's affecting your career, and you're lightening up about things. Maybe this person has a really good influence, like good suggestions, or maybe they're starting to support you. Or if you're already have been with somebody, maybe there's, I don't know. And it doesn't have to be a relationship. It could be friends, family, an inheritance, a winning. I don't know. But like, I feel like both socially and financially, like some new foundational supports are coming in for you to just feel a little lighter about career, and that lightness and that happiness in turn is making career thrive, which is so funny. There's the paradox, you know, it's like you work so hard and stress so much to make your place in the world. But the minute you ease off and relax about it, that's when it grows. So whatever, you know, like even if there isn't that support coming in, there's something about your life where you're just relaxing and letting go of like needing things to be a certain way and just enjoying life. And that in turn is giving you the growth and thriving that you've really craved. And yeah, so beautiful. Congratulations, you guys. Let's pull. I don't even feel like we need some tarot cards, but we're going to do some tarot cards to end. All right. Ooh. So, yep. Moon reverse, 3 of discs. Oh, that came out in pile 2 upside down too. That's interesting. Yeah. Huh. Okay. Interesting. Oh, let's push these up a bit. Okay, so the moon upside down to start, you're coming out of a period of confusion, a period of isolation. Yeah, definitely like that manta ray is going into shallow waters right now. You're coming up from the depths, where you were really collecting information about the unseen, ready to share it. There's people around you, there's community around you, but collaboratively, I know I had said that like maybe it's not the best thing to work for or with others, but I think there's maybe like some collaborations coming in that could be very positive and effective and fun and exciting. And I think it's that, you're in that shallow place. So, like, right now, you are just like interested in connecting a little bit more with the variety of life, and you have a lot to share right now. You've really, done a lot of gathering down in the depths of life. So it's time to share, and by collaborating, that reaches more people, and it's like group energy does like I don't know, it amplifies things, and I think yeah, like let go into some, you don't have to work for others, but like several people who work for themselves, or someone that, like I said, how like sometimes you put 2 cats together and they do get along. Like maybe you do find some people you really mesh with, and it's just like a project that you do together, not necessarily like forming a company, but yeah, there's get out. It's a time to start collaborating and connecting with people a little more, for sure. Princess of Swords upside down, I think. Yeah, to me, this is like a little bit of a push around this happiness and thriving. I feel like there is a little bit of paralysis in you right now, to start out this 6 months, but this energy is coming, and you need to push yourself to act on your curiosity with others. Like right now, you're a little bit unsure. I think it's starting to bubble in your consciousness that you need to connect because you're coming up from the depths. And you're still a little bit paralyzed about, like, there's some hesitation about, how the cat has that paw where they hesitantly sort of swat at or touch another before they actually pounce. I feel like you're at that place where you're just kind of like testing the waters of like connecting, but you really need to plug into your curiosity and find some impulse to reach out, to share your ideas, to be more brave in sharing what you want to do, who you are as a professional. Turn this right side up. Get out of paralysis. Just take a few steps. I'm actually going to put this right side up to inspire you, I think. But by the end of 6 months, from whenever you watch this, I think you'll be in that boat of like, this will be right side up, and your curiosity will be taking you into a lot of beautiful new territory. This couldn't be, I mean, this is exactly the moon and retreat or Eight of Cups upside down. They're both, you've been down in the depths, you've been retreating, and these are ending. They're upside down. You're releasing those cycles. It's time to come to the shallow waters to play and eat and mate. Okay. And then it's interesting, we were having the King of Swords upside down out in the clarity, whereas in your subconscious it's upright. So you're questioning something about your mental command, about your authority. It's the same with like this Princess being upside down. And I think it's just like you've been too solitary lately and too stuck with your own thoughts. And I think it is come 6 months, like you just need to challenge yourself to put yourself out there and to be out in the world and a little bit more connected. And this will turn back right side up, but I think there are some doubts in this archetype that is already yours. It's not something you have to earn or work on. Like, it's already part of you, but there's like it's stuck in some doubts right now, and you just need to get out and connecting, and it will reestablish its right mind. And then the Hermit, this was funny showing up because like everything is saying to come out of hermitdom. Maybe it's just that reminder that you are the manta ray and the ocelot and the water lily, and it's like you don't have to leap into life with wild abandon. You can still tend to and nurture those sides of you, but just allow like this cycle coming up that's like connecting you more and making you more present and outgoing and fun and light. It's like a lightness, like allow that its space and allow your solitary space too, so you don't lose, like I feel like maybe you get completely off center if you totally abandon your hermit quality. So I think it's sort of like, make time for both right now. You're not completely, this is like a reassurance. It's like you're not completely giving this up. You're just coming into a lighter phase, and you can make time for both. It's great and fine. I forgot I was looking at the bottom of the deck for each of these. 9 of Discs, culmination. Well, this wasn't the card on the bottom of the deck for pile number. There's just so many things about pile number 1, and you guys, I think you need to all be friends. But I'm feeling a similar thing here too, is like you've really cultivated a lot of value and beauty and abundance in your life, but you've been hoarding it to yourself, and this is time. This could be also that hesitation to act on your authority and curiosity and to share. Is like there's something about you that like really needs to hoard your things, your what you have to give. And this is saying it's time, though, like these things will just rot if you keep hoarding them. It's time to put them into motion, to give them out, to use them in the world. And you're coming into the 10 of Discs at that 6-month point where like a lot more community and flow and connection and flow of values will be coming in. So the challenge, I think, in this next 6 months is to lighten up, connect a little more, dare to share yourself a little more, and see how that allows your life to start to thrive. And I think by that 6-month point, this is where you're going to be, is thriving, happiness, simplicity. In terms of career, things are just going to go because you're allowing more and more connection and lightness and happiness. So, all right, this is where I'm leaving you, pile 3. Beautiful. Just, get up, follow your curiosity, connect, still make some room for your solitude, though. All right, see you later. Hello, pile 4. If this is you guys, you picked the Dreamkeepers Tarot with the crystal quartz, and the card that we had flipped over was the Strength card. Okay, so that was just to help you make sure you identified the right pile. We're going to use these tarot in just a little bit. Okay, so to start out, we are going to jump into your subconscious a little bit. And so far in the first 3 piles, this has gone very differently for each, ranging from talking about things going on in other realms of life that are affecting career, to archetypes to know about self that either enhance or affect kind of position in the world, to just certain like events going on in general. It's been all over the map. So, no expectation. We'll see where this dive into your subconscious goes for you as we kind of take the temperature and look into your next 6 months around career. So I'm going to pick 3 of these Nocturna Oracle cards, and I'm actually going to read from the guidebook for them, because there are these things that come out, animals and plants, nature that comes alive when it's night out. And I'm not familiar with a lot of these symbolisms or the way they're actually used as night and subconscious realm things. And the guidebook just has these really simple, elegant, beautiful descriptions. Okay, so we've got 2 sea things going on. Shark and kelp. Okay, and then this summery lavender. So funny. Okay. Okay, so let's look at the guidebook really quick and see what it says about these before I make assumptions. Okay, so lavender, peace of mind, serenity, relaxation. I don't know, do you work in a spa maybe? Meditation. The lavender is the ultimate symbol of serenity due to the relaxing feelings one gets when smelling the flower's beautiful aroma. Historically, lavender was used to cure all sorts of ailments, ranging from gastrointestinal issues to anxiety, and is still used extensively to this day in aromatherapy. It is a flower that encourages meditation, calmness, and peace of mind. That's lovely. So I'm thinking, there's vibes around this with herbalism, meditation, spas, or you may just bring in your professional setting, just like a deep, like wherever you go, you just have like a calming effect. It could be as simple as that. Okay, let's look at kelp. Entanglement and subconscious. Many people feel uneasy being in a body of water, especially when a piece of seaweed brushes against their foot. Oh my gosh, I have been there. I've surfed in just kelp forests, and it is the creepiest thing. I mean, it's kind of cool, but however, kelp forests are extremely important ocean ecosystems. As with anything associated with the sea, kelp can be an indicator of something growing below the surface in the subconscious. Like a kelp forest rich in nutrients, this could be something that provides a benefit to your life. On the other hand, this could be some sort of difficulty which is ensnaring and dragging you down. Well, I think that is going to vary in this group. I feel like for some people, it's on that side of like providing a lot of resources, like some beautiful under the surface things you've grown, providing you just like a lot of support and beauty and nutrients in your life. And for some, yeah, maybe it's dragging you down in some way. You always have your calmness to lean back on to help. I want to say for the majority of you, this is more about the providing of nutrients, something under your surface that really enhances your life because of this calmness you have. I think it's like when we thrash around that we get ensnared, but that calmness of just like, and that's how I felt when I've surfed in sea kelp forests, is like you just have to kind of like calmly go through, and I feel like you have that energy, and it like actually that texture, if you can just like relax into it and sort of trust in, I don't know, I mean it's something you have to build up a trust in the ocean. But there is just something, I don't know, I don't know, you guys might think I'm nuts, but I loved that texture of just calmly kind of moving through it. Not too much motion because you don't want to stir up whatever is, I don't know, swimming in there. But it's a calm shake through there. Okay, so shark. Oh, that's so funny because I was just thinking how like I was very conscious to not like move the kelp with paddles like really aggressively for fear of like alarming sharks that was there. And then I forgot that shark is here. So 26. See what it says. Fearlessness, confidence, drive, authority. I like it. As a scuba diver, I have seen many sharks in my lifetime, and every time one appears, it has a very commanding presence. To pull this card, you may mean that there is an opportunity that you need to take hold of. Always swimming, always moving forward, the shark reminds us to be active in life, not passive. Be fearless in getting what you want in life and don't second guess yourself. Remember, however, to not bite off more than you can chew. So this is really interesting with shark and lavender coming together because like one is calm and one is like, I mean, but I guess they could go together. There's like a calmness in your confidence and assertiveness. So it's not like an attacking shark. It's just the shark that sees what it wants, that knows where it's going, has a direction, and is moving forward and calmly getting there. Hence, navigating the kelp forests with coolness and ease and picking up all of the life that's in there to feed itself. Yeah, I'm liking this actually. I think for the majority of you, the kelp is a really good thing. But the reminder would be to like if you get into things professionally that feel complex or nebulous, to channel your calm and channel your confidence, and you'll actually find almost like a meandering river, just like a diversity of life force that both there's an ecosystem to it that you feed and that feeds off of you, and like yeah, that but yeah, channeling your confidence and your calm, you'll find sort of a wide variety of nutrients to support you in life, in your specifically your career. Okay, so we're gonna pull some tarot cards to get a little bit more. These cards are kind of deep or dark. I want to just hold them up so you can see they're so pretty. Lavender, especially this kelp is very dark. Let's see if I can catch the light right. Anyway, yeah, in person you can see these much better. Okay. All right, let's come out. Oh, beautiful. Ace of Cups. How perfect. Ace of Cups with lavender. Okay, well, we'll get there. Hold on. Okay, the Tower. Page of Pentacles. That's an interesting one to show up for the shark. Sort of an earth creature with a deep water. Okay, so I love Ace of Cups with the lavender. It's just showing that like you're very centered in your heart, in your emotions. You have an overflowing cup to give that's always replenished as you give. There's just this ever-flowing fountain of love and giving and calmness and peace that you have to put into your position, and you have to put into the world to contribute to the world. Currently, right now, you may be at sort of like a threshold moment where a whole new sort of like order of life is coming into place. So you may be a little bit ensnared in some chaos right now with this kelp. I think often it is a source of nutrients for you, but there's something professionally that's sort of falling apart at the moment. So you could feel a bit tangled, but what's happening is like a new impulse is coming up that's going to re-pattern or reorder the world around you. And in order for that clarity and that order to be established, you need to let the old structure, order of your life kind of fall apart first. So just be calm in it, and you'll still find the nutrients in the chaos. If you're just embracing of some chaos, there's plenty of fertility in decomposition. And just to have that assurance that like a new order and a new clarity and a new impulse are about to birth into your life around career. So it's okay that there's some sort of like decomposing taking place, some crumbling, if you will. And then Page of Pentacles, you are able to attract to you a lot of value in your career through your ability to know how to always move forward, your confidence, your assertive nature. It's like, I want to say that this shark is not necessarily a great white. That earthing element to it is like a little bit more of a calm shark. It's like, I don't know, a hammerhead. What's like very utilitarian as a shark? Like earth being utilitarian. You're like a hammerhead shark or something that's like not a super threat to humans. No, but I think it's just like you know how to there's a spirited quality about you, a playful quality about you in this. What's a playful shark? There's got to be a playful shark, right? Like I feel like there's this pixie, this earth pixie quality in you that knows what it wants, and it calmly goes towards it with like a skip in its step, but a focus and a confidence and an assertive nature. You're not scared to say what you want, to ask for what you want, and it's really suits you and your career well. Okay, one more deck to plug into here, see what else comes out. Totally. Sacred action, decisive focus. That makes total sense. Ooh, and the cheetah. That's one of my animals. Calming the waters, peaceful self-regulation. I mean, really? These are such confirmations of things we've already talked about. Go with the flow, letting go, cleansing, receiving. I feel like this one talks a little bit more about this like new order coming, but it's coming under the shark to just like remind you that like you do have a confidence, you do have an assertive quality and a focus, and to just like trust that and to go with the flow of whatever's crumbling apart and whatever's reorganizing. Like, you've got it. Like, it's not a problem for you. You're going to go with the flow because you know what this process is, and you have probably proved to yourself over and over again that you know how to get what you want. And so you have all confidence that even though some things might be falling apart professionally, that new things are coming in and are exciting and great. And I love this calming the waters connected to the tower. It's again, like, I think you just trust in the cycles of life. Like, this isn't, of course it may feel destabilizing and uncertain, but like, you just have this deep trust in yourself and a deep peace. And you just know like, it's going to be fine. And it is. The cards, you already know it. The cards are confirming it, and I'm interpreting them to confirm it as well. Well, Spirit is, I think, and me. We both are. And then sacred action, decisive focus, like that cheetah energy coming through here. It is an animal that's the fastest land animal there is, but it can't sustain that. So I feel like you have this quality in you, like, but the cheetah is a very calm, shy animal. So that lavender, it's kind of funny at first when I saw that, like lavender and cheetah, but it makes sense. So like, even though cheetah is a sprinter and it's very fast, that's not sustainable. So the majority of its time is spent recuperating and resting, finding its new target, its new prey, its new focus, strategizing, stalking, and then it sprints when it's the exact right time. So it's like divine timing. Divine timing. And so you know how to rest when you need to, and to be calm about those moments of like when things seem to be sort of stagnant versus like really assertive. You vacillate between this lavender calm peace and this shark sort of moving forward. That's the cheetah energy. It knows it needs long periods of rest so that it can sprint so fast when it's ready, when the shark comes on. So yeah, I think you guys have got this. There's definitely some changes, some shakeups going on, which can bring some uncertainty, but and I'm just confirming, cards, spirit, me, we're all confirming that another sprint cycle is going to pop up, and that. And whatever's needing to go with the tower, I think you're ready to let it go, as painful and hard as it can be. You're ready for a new order and a new impulse. And so it's helping you to allow something to fall apart, whether that's career related or something in another part of your life that's just sort of affecting all parts of life. Could be one or the other. Okay, we are going to jump into the daylight now, out of subconscious territory, and actually look at like the energy around career, what's going on there. Okay, let's just put put these to the side. And all right, so these Sacred Landscape cards, we're going to pull 3 of them. And get sort of a general, to me, they almost tell a story of what kind of energy, openings, challenges, is there, what's the energy around your career right now? And for, at least from now to the next 6 months. Oh, pile 1 got this too. It makes sense for you guys, I think, in a different way. Stand still. Okay. Yeah, okay, that tower, that's that standstill, and the cheetah's resting right now. This 6 months, okay. Gateway, yep, exactly, okay. So I am going to interpret that purification just a little bit differently than I did with pile 1. To me, this feels like, I feel like coming into the front end of the 6 months, that tower energy of something sort of falling apart is already like deeply in process, if not already happened. And you're in a time of regeneration, of moving any blockages, both within yourself, like around like any congestion of emotions that's been built up. You're releasing. This is like moving water, rain. It just like water purifies, and that movement element like washes it away. So you're really cleansing whatever this tower energy, whatever's kind of fallen apart. You're really on the tail end of or at least started the process of like feeling some renewed energy coming through, some purification, some movement of some old baggage and emotions. And if this has to do with career, it doesn't matter. Like it could be something in personal life, or in the outer world, in your career, but it's either way, it is affecting your career. But there's like there's purity coming through and things washing out, which is just like preparing you for that new order, that new cycle. You're just getting good and centered and cleansed and healed within yourself right now. And then that standstill to me is saying that, like, yeah, it's in currently this 6 months, I think for at least the first 3 months of it, if not maybe 4 or 5 months of it, there's like a little bit of stagnation and standstill. I actually, I think it was last pile, pulled a card that I interpreted the way that this card was supposed to be interpreted. And I knew that I told them to, I'm like, I think I'm talking about another card, but it's feeling the same to me. And they do have a very similar image, so it's fine. But I think that's what came to mind. So I think it works for both those cards. But anyway, you didn't need to know that. It's just funny. Yeah, you're in the cheetah rest period right now. You're restoring, you're rejuvenating. And then I think by 6 months, if not by like at a 4-month point, it might even be. But at least by 6 months, that new gateway, that new order that I talked about that comes after the tarot, or I'm losing it, guys. After the tower, in tarot, cracking myself up. Okay. The new order that comes after the towers crumbled. So whatever's kind of, disintegrated, crumbled, fallen apart in your life, by the 6-month point, if not by like 4-ish months, there will be a new threshold for you and a whole new view. And in terms of your aspirations. And this white horse actually has, it's a unicorn, it has that horn coming out of its third eye spot. So it's like that calm of the lavender and that rest of the Cheeto and the focus, the Cheeto. You guys, did I just say Cheeto? Well, Cheetos have the cheetah. Gosh. Go eat some Cheetos. Anyway, the focus, the regalness, the instinct to give itself rest that the cheetah has, combined with that calmness of the lavender, is like really putting you, and you should do actively, as the shark would, assertively do some work with your third eye. There's plenty of, you could get on YouTube and look for like third eye meditations, or simply just, like on Spotify or iTunes or something, you could search for third eye sounds. There's like a frequency that matches the different chakras. So you could just play some music that connects to that chakra. It's a certain hertz, and close your eyes as you listen to it, and just like look into the center point of your eyes at like the bridge of your nose, kind of, or just above. Do some work with your third eye. I think a vision is coming to you, and at least by minimally by 6 months, that third eye, that new vision will be in front of you. A new threshold will be crossed. It's sort of new. It's not like you've summited a mountain at this new place. You're just stepping into the new view, which is super exciting. It's like a new impulse. You have such beautiful energy with the shark and that cheetah energy to know how to be brave in new environments, and to trust yourself, and to move forward even if there's learning curves, and you've got it. So yeah, even though there might initially at this moment with that tower be some sort of things you're releasing and letting go of, like, I'm excited for your 6-month point. I think it will be I got the tower again. And that's where I like that it's the first card that came out. I haven't really been reading these as like chronological order, but this to me does feel like I think we might read this more chronologically, because I do feel like the starting point of the 6 months is that tower, like something's falling apart right now, and you're in process of starting to purify. Okay, so it is, there are some anxieties about it. I think I would just refer back to what we said, what came out in that subconscious reading part, the first end of this reading, of, you just need to really trust yourself, because you know how to make a success of your career and of your life, because you have the qualities. A lot of rare, not everyone has these qualities that you have to make life abundant and successful, so it's okay, it's fine to be uncertain, to have some anxieties of letting go of some things in the past. But definitely, know that you have what it takes going into the uncertain future. Okay, this is affecting you more than I thought. You're at this point, and I think for the next 3 months, struggling to find that new hope yet. So just keep working with your third eye. Keep trusting in your own abilities. You've got this, guys. Okay, I was taking this a little too lightly, I think. You guys have this. it's a process though. It's a purification is a process. Like, it's okay. Let your fears, let your anxieties come up, and so you can move them. So don't try to repress them, work through them. Um, it's hard to find a new, so the star is like finding a new hope, but it's upside down. So you're like really struggling to find this. And if I'm reading this chronologically, we're at the 3-month point here. Um, I get the feeling it's going to turn around after this. Let's see what comes up after it. But I feel like the first three months were in this standstill where you're purifying things and moving. Just like, yeah, get into some breath works. Definitely, if you know studios that do breath works or someone who does them online, yeah, I think anything that can help you move stuck emotion in your body up and out of you. And then one thing to note, I think I even forgot to I told you how I interpreted another card as this card, but I forgot to actually give you the interpretation. This standstill is talking about marshlands where floods come in, and that feels murky and stuck and muddy and just blah. But what's actually happening beneath the surface is it's bringing new silts in and new fertility for a growing season. So underneath all this murkiness, there's really beautiful, there is a new dream. I like that it's coming right under that standstill. You need to trust in that murkiness and the stuckness, that there actually is a new dream forming down here. It's just under the water right now. But it's being fertilized. It's being nurtured by earth. It's being protected and fed and held. It's just hard to see because it's under the surface right now, but it's happening. That new hope is happening. It's just, yeah, hard to see in the clear daylight. Okay, exploration. Okay, so around the 3-4 month point, you need to push yourself to get out in the world, to get creative and playful and be okay with making mistakes and just trying things. Like, you're just needing to, now that you're sort of like purified some of this emotional and mental anguish, there is new fire building in you, but you don't, it's like at that 4-month point, the fire is starting to feel lit, but you're like hesitant, or your stagnation has created some inertia. But professionally, like, you need to maybe connect with people doing interesting things, get curious about other professions, or if you want to stay in sort of the same realm that you've been in, or you want to keep doing the same thing you've been doing that it's just felt stagnant. You just need to like network and get out and connect, and even like go on a vacation. Sometimes travel can just inspire things that infuse all parts of life with renewed energy and ideas and passions. So I think to get out of this upside down place where, you know, your fire's there, but it's just like stagnant, you need to push yourself to get out and like explore life in very different ways. Okay. King of Swords upside down. Ugh. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think this is all incubation stuff. there is a new hope incubating. It's like a little, like you have moments of inspiration with it, but it's like bubbles where they like kind of come and go. And like pushing yourself to explore is like reigniting some fire, but it's sort of like coming and going. You're in this like liminal space. You're starting to reconnect with that shark quality you have, that confidence, that forward movement, but it's like, it's kind of coming and going. But you're starting, you're moving from complete, I don't know, demolition of something and anxiety to this moment of like bubbles of inspiration into nebulousness. And then once we enter the 6th month, here we go. So it's the very end. The last month of the 6 months, you're going to come into like a new sense of your heart and turning that shark quality, that cheetah focus, that cheetah sprint, and that shark, just, it's like the king of the ocean sort of thing, which makes sense. Like King of Cups is King of Waters and then King of the Ocean. That last month of the 6 months, you're really going to come into a new kind of power. Like, I feel like you've been more of like a king of mind, and ideas and connection. But you're changing, like something, this whole process you've gone through is like changing you to put you a little bit more in touch with your heart and what you need, and integrating that in your career. So like taking it very seriously, personal needs, relational needs, emotional needs, in terms of how you start building again in your career, in your authority and power in the world. You are a king. That seems very clear to me. You have king energy. I don't care what gender you are. You have king energy, which is command, managerial qualities, executive qualities, and we can be any gender and have that. But yeah, that last month of the year, you're really coming into leading and building more through your heart to be good to yourself. Like maybe what you had built before this tower, usually what crumbles is things that that were like made hastily or no longer support who we've become. And I think wherever you've come from career wise, it wasn't supporting your heart anymore, and you find your heart by the end, and you start building more with your heart than through your ideas. Okay, that is your reading. Stick in there, you guys. 4 or 5 months of just, well, like the first 2 months, I feel like are going to be really tough. But after that, you're going to move into a phase. So the first 2 months is sort of like life falling apart, or maybe not all of life, but like something in your career is kind of crumbling or just like not suiting you anymore, and it's bringing some anxieties and fears. Moving into the 3-month point, you're having moments of inspiration, but you're vacillating. You're kind of in this liminal space. But come to that 6-month point, you're at the new threshold, and you're really leading out of your heart. So stick in there. It's going to be, check back, save this and check back in 6 months. I'd love to hear in 6 months. I mean, right now, but also in 6 months, like, yeah, I don't know. Check back in 6 months. I'll still read the comment if you leave one and say, hey, you were right. And guess what this new view is? Amazing. Let me know. Okay. All right. See you guys. Hello, pile 5. Last but certainly not least. Whew, almost there. I just rehydrated, had some nuts and dried mango, and I'm ready to go. I say certainly not least because I don't know, I just have a feeling we'll see what happens, but you picked, if this is you guys, you picked the pyrite with the action card, and I feel like we're due a pile that's in hustle mode. There's been some with some good traction, but I feel like this might be the one. We'll see. We'll see. No promises, but I've got a feeling with that action thing that like you guys are on the hustle right now. Okay, but to start, we are jumping down into the subconscious of your life, and this has gone very differently for every pile. So who knows what we'll find there. Sometimes it's been stuff about different archetypes you've had, people that piles have had, that might contribute to their professions or certain events currently happening that might be affecting things in their professional life or career. It's been all over the board. Sometimes it's been not at all about career in this subconscious place, but things, affecting. So we'll see what jumps out, but we're going to look at your subconscious, things in your subconscious sort of that might give us indications about your career, and especially currently and for the next 6 months. Things to look for. Okay, so from right now, whenever you watch this, it's timeless. So whenever that is to 6 months from now is kind of where we're concerned with. And, a lot of these subconscious things affect so many things in our lives, career included. So, ooh, pretty card, Fog. So this is the Nocturna deck, and I'm actually going to read from the guidebook for it because they have these really beautiful, just like pretty short but lovely nightish. Oh my gosh, look, orchids right under. It's like the same color too. Orchids under orchids. I just bought these this morning and picked some off to put in water. They were meant for you guys. Apparently, I got them for you. And okay, so one more, and then we'll read from the guidebook to see what it says, and then kind of put together some thoughts. Okay, so Fog, Orchid, and Opossum. All right. Let's check out this Fog guy. Okay. Feeling lost, uncertainty, confusion, oppression. Shapes and shadows lurk in the distance. Fog is a favorite weather pattern of mine due to the way it diffuses light and blurs shapes. It conceals the truth and deprives us of our sense of direction. This is especially so... Sorry, hold on. Okay. This is especially so since fog tends to occur at night or in the early morning when it is already dark out. Uncertainty looms before you, so take heed, tread carefully, or simply wait for the fog to lift. Okay, so I feel like I have not yet, in different cards I've used at points, I've read things chronologically. I have not yet read these cards as sort of like a progression. But the sense I'm getting is that that's how it should go for you guys. So I feel like at this point right now, there's something, whether it is specifically about your career or if it's just sort of life in general or some specific thing, I feel like you're starting at this point of watching this video in a little bit of obscurity, like unsureness of where you're going, what's next, what do you even want to be in the world, even if you already have a profession. Maybe you're like not feeling it and like, what am I going to be when I grow up, even if I'm 50? Or maybe you just newly graduated from high school or college and it's sort of like, I don't know what's next. Yeah, I feel like you're just sort of in this liminal place at this moment. So we're going to read this at the 3 month mark and then at the very end, the the bookend of this 6 month journey. So Orchid at 3 months, which Orchid, I mean, they're so beautiful. It's got to be a good message, right? 12. Okay. Sexuality, desire, luxury. The word orchid comes from the Greek word orchis, which was coined by ancient Greek botanist. Oh my gosh. Guys, it's my fifth pile. Give me a break. Which was coined by ancient Greek botanist Theophrastos. I have no idea if I pronounced that right, who believed the tubers of the plant resemble the male anatomy. Many ancient cultures associated them with virility and strength. In the Victorian era, they were highly sought after, and there was an entire industry built around collecting them. They were considered a luxury plant as they were only available in the tropics during the time. Okay, so I feel like this is like at this 3 month point, there's something really igniting in your sacral chakra, which is your second chakra. It's in sort of the womb area of your life and is associated with water and sensuality and fluidity and flow and really getting life moving. So I think even before I get to opossum, I feel like the next 3 months, like really try and find music that your body wants to move to, like just privately. You don't need to go dance in front of people, but just like, in the mornings as you're getting ready or in the evening as you're making dinner or something like that, just try and find some music that makes you feel in your body and makes you kind of want to move, not necessarily spasmodically, but like just kind of sway your hips and jive, just have a good time. Yeah, I think that will help you move into this orchid energy. And I think that flow, while things may still be slightly obscure at that 3 month point, something, it will help wake something up in you, and this movement will help you get into this orchid place a little bit more smoothly or quickly. Okay, let's look at opossum. You guys, I don't know if you can hear it. My neighbor's dogs are barking a storm up, and I feel like you can hear it. I'm sorry. It's nothing I can do. Where is opossum? Seeing all of the other O cards, but not, oh, here we go. It's near the end. Okay. Reaction, stress, de-escalation. The opossum in North America is North America's only marsupial. I didn't know that. When confronted with danger, they play dead, laying stiff on the ground and even emitting an unpleasant odor, causing the predator to get confused and leave. This is an automatic instinctual reaction that the opossum is unable to control. This is a perfect reminder to not let situations get too out of hand. On the other hand, perhaps you need to examine how you react to certain things. In difficult circumstances, it is easy to just let your emotions take control and to react in a way that is not helpful. It is important to remember to use your head and act calmly. Okay, so I do think maybe you are somebody that is really that comes from and is a bit driven by your emotional realm. And that obviously affects every area of life, career, relationships, feeling centered in self. So, I do think, what's a trick for this? I do think just like creating a practice, and it's like beating a dead horse. I'm sure you've heard this over and over, but like creating a morning ritual of like a 5 or 10 minute meditation practice to just like really calm and still your body. And due to this sort of more emotional nature that I'm sensing, within that meditation practice, maybe even at the end of it, like take a minute to, I'm an empath, so I have to do this work a lot, and it's really helped me. But like what I will do is like after I meditate, or either starting out or ending, I don't know. I always do it, but I don't remember what order. Just like Anyway, as you breathe out, you are consciously sort of expelling any energies from other people that you've taken on that are not your energy, that is not your emotion. And then as you breathe in, you're reclaiming pieces of yourself and energy that's attached to others or that other people have absorbed from you. So you're calling your energy back in and you're expelling other people's energies back out. And I think even though our own emotions are enough to make us feel topsy-turvy, if we're taking on other people's emotions and letting people have pieces of us, like that just makes it all the worse. So if you can do that little piece of like, at least I know what I'm emotional about is just my energy, it makes it just a little bit easier. But there is, I think that's something you need to make a little bit more conscious in your life, is your emotional nature. So I'm actually not really going to read this chronologically. I don't think this is like right now, 3 months, 6 months. I think this is more clear to me now that I've read the descriptions that you do have an emotional nature, and that can sometimes make you very foggy. It can sometimes make you dramatic, and it can sometimes make you just like very embodied and alive and sensual. And it's like you sort of vacillate greatly between these things. And I almost want to say that like, if you look into attachment theory, you might have a slight bit of an anxious attachment style, which can, that attachment style can really, really affect career, because you put so much energy into worrying about and needing feedback from others that you don't have a lot of energy left to give to career. So I think if you can get clear about your own energy, I don't know, read up. Like, I just want to tell you guys to read up about attachment theory. You would really have to go to a psychologist to be diagnosed as one of them, but there are like some quizzes you can do to see which, it's not going to be like guaranteed, but to see if you might have a slightly anxious attachment issue going on, which just means like, the connections, the relations in your life just really dominate and make it hard for you to progress other areas of your life very well, because just so much energy is expelled on the relational terrain. If this is not you, you might just be an emotional person, and practices to breath work, meditation, again, getting centered, but breath work of like allowing your emotions to come through you and come out instead of oppressing them, just like could clear the fog. I think deep down who you are is a very sensual, creative person, but that you swing between within being that, because of this emotional nature, you swing between being sort of topsy-turvy and overwhelmed to being theatric and dramatic. So maybe you're, like you could be an actress, actor, kind of covers all the gender categories, right? Just an actor. Or someone who's this is good to know too, in terms of, especially if you're not really sure where to go in career yet, if you're still seeking out career, or if you're looking for a change, or even if you're already established in something, just like, how can you utilize this emotional quality that you have in career? It tends to be a more creative type. So I don't know, like, I really want to push you guys into working with your body and breath and listening to what it wants to tell you about how emotions need to be used in your profession. Okay, we're going to do some tarot real quick under these to get a little bit of confirmation, or actually just clear, like, more context. Each of these. Okay. Well, that's a lovely card. Emperor. Okay, now we're talking. Ooh. Wow, okay, you're very regal. VV Regal. Okay, so you are an abundant person. That was what I was feeling with this pile and that active card. You create a lot of abundance. The issue where you need to bring something out of your subconscious to make this work better for you is that you kind of like, there's a bit of a reserve around how you share your abundance, or put it into flow with the world, or just use it as like you try to hold it a little bit too tight, and it's like clogging up your life. It's making things foggy to see. So you just, like, I think you need to push yourself. Maybe you have a hard time being around others with that emotional sensitivity. I don't know. I think some of you are, I think there's two ends of a spectrum here. I think there's some very private people who are emotional and struggle to be around others. And then I think that there are some people whose emotionality drives them to need constant connection. But either way, you have so many resources within you, and such like a beautiful heart, and it just needs to, it's like with the butterflies on this card, it needs more connection. You need to get out more. You need to connect with others more. You need to feel yourself mirrored back by others a lot. And that helps you come out of the fog. And that's again like kind of leaning into that anxious attachment of always needing some sort of reflection back around, yeah. I think it's just something to be aware of. I really do think you need to look into sort of anxious attachment um, and do some work. Maybe even like see a counselor about. There's a lot of like really amazing books out there too on attachment styles. Um, because I do think it's beneficial for you to socialize and to share your heart. It's just that it's like you need so much reinforcement. And so you need to find a way to just like a little bit more self-confidence and self-reflection and self-soothing, I guess you could say, and like letting that social nature just be social for the connection part of it and not so worried about feeling like every connection is really secure or worried about what others think of you, and just like having fun for yourself in connection and being able to give yourself the own feedback you need about self-love and compassion. And there's maybe just some baggage that you need to let go of around letting other people affect you so much, because it's really creating a lot of fog in in your brain, which affects things. But otherwise, these other cards, like, you are regal, you have managerial skills, you've got passion and assertion. I really, really feel like if you're not an actor, you should be. I mean, she's even got this like, this Queen of Wands is like the fire queen. So, very passionate, but she's even got this mask on. So maybe even just performance, for fun, even if that's not part of your career right now. Like, what can you do to satisfy that side of you? Like going to ballets or plays, or signing up for some theater classes. You do have a drama side to you that could be really, really fun to unleash somehow in career if you haven't already. Yeah. And then this emperor with the orchid. Oh my gosh, this is an interesting thing. I would usually think of the emperor as like very um I don't know, just like not necessarily connected to like body and pleasure, but this guy, this emperor is all about creating an empire. This is like the reign of Venice when the courtesans were around. It's like you have this emperor quality, but you're kind of a pleasure hound at the same time. And so you are able to create order that is infused with sensuality and pleasure and a little bit of mischief and excitement. There's a lot of, I don't know, maybe these priestess cards will clear it up. I'm really struggling out of any of the piles to like put my finger on what's going on in the subconscious realm. Definitely this is who you are at your core. You are sensual and you are powerful, but you have this emotional nature that creates a lot of social baggage and connection baggage and heart baggage that makes you feel confused and uncertain and sort of takes away from energy you need to be putting other places, but then you have this very like theatrical side that is also quite regal. Okay, let's see what the priestesses say. Telepathy. Transmission, perception, communication. Yeah, I felt that with the butterflies. There's something with communication here. Oh, we got this in the last pile 2, I think. 3? Pile 3. Bright heart light. Open connection. Connection is big. This emperor is a very different emperor. I always think of him as very solitary, but he's got a pretty open heart center and pleasure center. That one came out. I feel like I need a new one. Earth magic. Okay. So definitely what I was saying about the empathy thing, I do think it is important to do that thing where you like recall your power and push, or your energy and push other people's energy out of you, and like a daily morning and evening practice, like just 1 minute, and you don't have to like sit in a meditative stance. You can just be in a chair and just like breathe in and out for a minute, and yeah, just get back into your own energy so that these perceptions and transmissions that are coming through can be a little bit more clear about where they're coming from, who they're from, and so that you know your own energy a little bit better, so that you know that if there's a transmission coming in, that it's not something coming from you. So you can tell other people's energies apart from your own. I think that's what this is. This is all just like this empathic quality. There's just like a lot of murkiness in your heart because of that empathic quality that you have. There's just like so much emotional, energetic baggage that makes life a little bit foggy. And that's made you maybe a little bit anxious about connection and that attachment style. Even if it's not an attachment style, maybe you have a secure attachment, but you're definitely an empath, and you just like really need to do certain work to get clear about what your energy is, so that when you are getting telepathic communications or energies coming in, you know it's where it's, you know, that it's not yours, so it's coming from somewhere else. And usually if you recognize it's coming from somewhere else, it's usually pretty easy to pinpoint where that's from. And then this emperor just makes me laugh. He is like, this is definitely like a Venusian emperor. He's just totally into like love and sensuality and like creating order in order for everyone to have some pleasure. And that's just like who you are in your heart, I think. Yeah, and then this side of you that's the actor, this really wants to come out of you with the horse. Like, yeah, even if it's just for fun, I really think taking like a theater class just for the hell of it, I think you're going to find a certain fearlessness in yourself that you didn't totally recognize before. I don't know. Yeah, there's something and I think, you know, it comes from this empathic thing. You've felt so many people's energies, and you may enjoy actually taking on other energies. It's like trying on costumes and masks or something. It's still important to know what your energy is, even if you enjoy taking in the energies of others. but it's something maybe you haven't tapped into. I don't know why I'm feeling like this isn't something you've fully tapped into that really needs, well, because we're in the subconscious. I think this really needs to come out, and I think you would find a completely new fearlessness in you in being able to express characters, because you know so many characters, because you've allowed so many to be in you. Okay, we're gonna jump over to this was the most scattered subconscious reading of the 5. I hope you got something out of that. I feel very confused by it, but I think there were some gems in there, so hopefully you got some. Okay, we're going to jump into the daylight and the clarity and actually look at what's going on with the energy around you for the next 6 months around career. Okay, so we'll do some tarot last, but first we're going to pick 3 sacred landscapes to kind of give a story around to kind of give a story around what's going on with career and the vibe of it the next 6 months. Focus, trust, truth. Okay. Yeah, that action card that was pulled in terms of just picking the pile, I do think you have something specific right now in career you've got your sights set on. And it's a time to really give focus to this and limit other aspects of life and anything in your career or whatever you're kind of building authority or mastery in. If there's things that are making you feel scattered around that, if there's any way to delegate a few things off of your plate. I mean, you're the emperor, so you should have people under you to be able to delegate to, unless you work for yourself. And if you work for yourself, just find things that aren't really doing anything and kind of thin out any extra baggage, because it's really time to pick sort of a very central focus so we limit in order to really focus, in order to really climb high in something specific and really build a strong sense of authority in something very specific. And I think you need to trust yourself. So this might feel very daunting. I mean, this cat is in the snow, and I feel like he's needing to go up to this peak here. And that just feels daunting. I mean, he's in the snow. It's winter. That sounds terrible. But it's something you chose, that this cat chose, that you chose, and you're very fixed on it and very sure about it. And so you need to not be weighted down on this journey to summit. But it's still daunting, and you question, I think, do I have what it takes for this journey? And you just need to trust yourself. You do have what it takes to reach the top. I feel like you're reaching the top of something right now. Or have like an action plan too. Oh, here's that action came in, even though we don't have the card out here. Yeah, I feel like if you don't already, it's time to make an action plan of how to reach the summit that you have in your crosshairs. And to trust your plan and to trust your capabilities. You have that Emperor archetype. And I think with the orchid, I was like, which flower is it? the orchid with that Emperor is like, don't forget to keep in touch with your body and to make this journey one that, even if it's like slow and precise and strategic and a little bit arduous, to have that trust in yourself that you can do it. And so with that trust, give yourself space to find pleasure where it's available, to fill your body as it moves up, to take peeks back at where you've come from and how far you've gone so far every once in a while, and kind of revel in each step you've taken and try to enjoy each step that you take. Really be connected to it. And I think that this journey and this deep trust and focus you're finding new truths about yourself, new truths, that the truth of you is you're an emperor. So what is the actual top? What is the top you see right now, and what is maybe your actual top? Is it a little higher than you're assuming? Maybe. I think so. But I think this journey you're going on to the top of your, aspiration, your authority, your place in the world, you're finding out a lot of truths about yourself that I think are, I find this card beautiful, that I think are, there's like this cloud blowing, I don't know if you can see that, there's like a face in the cloud that's blowing the winds and the trees. The truth of how you're able to move, what you're able to move, how stable you are, how that combination of being able to move the air and feel the air as it moves, but stay stable in your ground and reach high. Okay, we're going to do some tarot, maybe 6 cards. I think that's what I've done for every pile. To just get a little bit more context. 9 of Cups. We had that in the subconscious too. 4 of Cups. Okay, back of the deck, 9 of Wands. Okay, so 9 of Cups have shown up again. Yeah, like feeling, this is the empath thing, like feeling the hearts of others, trying on the energies of different things, absorbing a lot, with an open flow. I think you really actually enjoy. I'm still going to maintain that you need to work on understanding your own energy. But at the same time, I really do think you enjoy kind of trying on different hearts. So I think this is, um, I think this is a truth about yourself that you're finding. And I think part of your focus needs to integrate um, how to, it's just in the glare. I don't like, you can't see that well. Okay, that's a little better. Yeah, part of this focus and this climb to the top, you need to make sure it's integrating something about being able to have a lot of connection with others emotionally. So even if that's not in the acting realm, which I still sort of think it should be, I mean, it could even be like writing stories where you develop characters or, I mean, in most, I think, professions, there can be a lot of energy around just connection with people and yeah, feeling like this free flow of especially like group energy, collective energy, something about that. Something about either being able to try on different hearts or being around sort of more groupish type energy should really be integrated into your focus or like reaching many people somehow. Um, yeah, and then this Four of Cups, this meditation card, I think is coming through to sort of say, like, this will, like, I don't think you're giving that enough serious attention right now and developing a practice around that. Like, you're pouring out your energy a bit because you're not doing that empath work of like really releasing energies out of you and like centering in yours and feeling who you are. It's like draining you a bit. So if you can create that sort of practice, I think you're really gonna feel that fogginess, clear that fogginess out. It's just, yeah, very similar. So we'll turn that back upside because we know what you need to do with it. um, and I think that, so this card of friendship with the focus, this definitely isn't saying like cut your friends loose, but I think the focus you need means that like social life, I think there can be a lot of social life professionally because of this Nine of Hearts, but like socially and in your regular life, it may need to take a little bit of a back seat in order for you to really excel the way this 6 months is indicating you have the potential to. And if you can do that, again, like limiting so that you have a singular focus and you really stay on track and kind of put this to the side, is going to help you find a more clear vision out of that fog we saw in the subconscious. Like it's currently a little bit foggy, but I think that limiting of things in order to have a singular aim will clear it up, as well as like that meditation piece or that working with that clearing energies out of you, that will help you to find the focus you need. And then I think that maybe you've been in a state of a little bit of dormancy in profession and in your aim, not really knowing where to go, but like in a recuperation process. And I think now is the time. You're coming out of that in this 6 months. Maybe you might still need like a month or two of rest, but this is really approaching soon that you're letting go of recuperation and you're sort of like stepping back into being a little bit more assertive and active and clear about where you need to go and what you're doing. But I think that's like the whole goal, is like clarifying your energy to know what your focus is, because you feel ready to go. You just need to kind of get some of this murky, I don't know, empath stuff cleared out, get centered, limit what you're doing in your life so you can really focus, and gaining that clarity of the vision to go because you're ready. And then like this is a Valor card. This is a Leo card of like, but it's the competitive element of Leo, where you really are ready to fight your way onto your path too, but not in like a struggle way. It's like, that Emperor, you have what it takes. You should know. If you don't know, that clearing up that meditation work will really help you clarify. But I think you can feel it energetically, like you're ready to fight for what you want. You're ready to put your heart and your energy and your courage into something. I mean, this takes so much courage to, in a snowy, steep mountain, epic mountain terrain, take aim at the biggest peak, But you're ready, and you're ready to charge towards it. Whatever obstacles may come, you're ready for them. You're prepared, and you have the heart and the command to do it. And then this Nine of Wands on the top of the deck in reverse is saying that you've been in a reflection process. That's what's foggy. You're coming out of it, just like you're coming out of the rest. You've been resting, and you've been reflecting, and you're about to come out of it and sort of like ready to move forward towards an epic aim, a big epic journey. And I love that the card underneath of it is King of Swords, authority. Your mind that's what's coming after this. You let go of this like reflection process, in terms of like where your journey has taken you so far in maybe the last couple of years. It's been a time to take stock of that, but you're kind of coming out of it. And once you come out of it, that fog clears, the vision comes, the focus comes, and you recognize that you have your Emperor has a specific mental capacity that's really sharp, and has a wit, has a curiosity, has an eloquence with words, with ideas, with expression. And that authority is just like really going to come on. So yeah, it is action. I think you've been in some stagnation. I think there is some fogginess to clear up, but I think pretty quickly, next month or two, you're really focusing and going. That action is coming on. It's time to climb that mountain and trust yourself, and you've got this, guys. Yeah, big journey. You've got it, though. Just trust that the next several weeks will kind of clear up, though. It's very likely you're in a little bit of a foggy place right now, and that's what this reading indicates is where you should be, but that's dissipating soon. Do some meditation, get clearer. Rejuvenation is almost complete, and you're almost ready to say that peak and go. All right, good luck, guys.